Hey everybody, this is George. We're at the beautiful Winterthur Apiary. It's the first week of March. We know spring's right around the corner because the bees are flying today. They're bringing back yellow and orange pollen. So we're going to look at this hive today. It's one of 8 that all overwintered. This hive, what we did for winter is we removed the queen excluder and we dropped down the deep exchange box, which had 5 deep frames of honey on it. And what happened over winter is the bees move up onto these frames. So these frames, they consume the honey. And now we've got to take these frames and put them back in the brood box, put the queen excluder on, and get them ready for the 2024 season. So come along and watch how I do that. Okay, welcome back. We're going to get started here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the 5-frame deep nuke box. And yes, you can want to come take a look, Dave. So the bees have moved up into this 5-frame box. So basically what we need to do is we need to take these bees that are up here and move them down. It's basically the equivalent of a box reversal that people with Langstroth do coming out of winter. They take a double deep and they basically reverse boxes. So it's something similar to what we're doing here today. So we're going to take this deep box full of bees and hopefully brooding the queen, which we'll see in a second. Just set it aside over here. Always listening to the bees, right? Making sure the bees stay calm with this. And then we're back into the brood chamber. So again, this is where the bees started in the winter. They started down here and they moved up. So we're going to have to take some of these frames out because the 5 frames that are in the deep are going to have to come down into this box. So, and we assume that these frames are probably going to be pretty empty because they've consumed the honey out of them. So this is just basically empty frames at this point. So we're going to continue to just pop them out. So again, another nice empty frame. So they did what they were supposed to do. They basically consumed all the honey that was down here, and they worked up into the... So the question will be eventually, is there any brood on any of these frames as we get to the frames that were underneath the 5-frame deep box. So far we basically have blank frames. So another completely blank frame. So these are the 3 that I would wonder what's on them. There may be nothing on them, but they may have something. Nope, that has nothing on it. Nothing on it. And this one, let's see if this one has some. And this one has again nothing on it. And this one has a little bit of fondant plastic and basically nothing on it. So that's quite okay. So we'll probably leave. So again, the 5 frames that are in the nuke box are going to come down here. So we'll probably leave 1 frame there. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take the 5 frames out of here and put them into here. Now the important thing as we do that is we want to keep them in the same order that they were inside the box. So we're just going to take the frames out of here and see what's in here. Now this frame has some honey on it still, which is awesome, right? So this is a little bit of the honey that was left over from the winter, because this deep box was 5 frames of basically capped honey that they ate over the winter. So there is a little bit left on the outside frame, is what you'd expect. So this honey frame is going to go, let's put the honey frame where honey frames belong, which is on the outside of the of the brood nest. And again, no brood. And we're going to give them one blank one there. Because I assume we're going to see, I don't know what we're going to see, but I assume we're going to see some brood on this one. At least we should see some brood on this one or the next one. So let's take a look. So again, we're going to look at this frame. This is a pollen frame. So kind of what you'd expect. They're already bringing in a fair amount of pollen. We fed them a little bit of pollen too. So this is a pollen frame, which is awesome. And again, a little bit of honey left over from the winter. So basically a pollen frame. So we're going to take this pollen frame and put it here. Let's hope this is queen right. I have not pulled, this is the first time we're pulling any frames up here, Dave. So I don't know. So no brood yet. So again, it's just coming out of winter. So let's take a look. Hopefully, I would have thought there would be, so here we go. So we see some larvae on this frame. So nothing capped, but a fair amount of open larvae on this frame. And on this side, ooh, that's risky. We see some eggs on the side. So basically a frame that we don't see the queen, but we clearly see evidence that the queen is here. So again, in the same order, we're just going to put this into the brood chamber. And this is frame number 4. Maybe this one will have some cap brood on it, Dave. Maybe. I don't know. Yes, so this one has some cap brood on it. So you can see that the queen laid on this one first. It's got a fair amount of cap brood. It's worker brood, right? So you want to make sure that coming out of the winter that you see nice capped worker brood. And there's the queen. There's the queen right there, nice and happy. So we're going to put that in as frame 4. And then let's take this one out. And we have one more frame in the box, which I assume will have some honey on it, but let's take a look. Basically just an empty frame, not much honey left on that frame, frame 5. So I think what we're going to do is, I think right now, how's this? 6. So we're gonna move the follower board over. We're not going to give it a full 8 frames yet. We'll give it 7. You probably could give it 8 and get away with it, but again, I want to keep my bees sort of warm and not too much space. So that's perfect. So now we got to do, okay, we moved the frames that were in the exchange box down to the brood box. We're going to put on our frame protectors like so. Got me. And then we're going to end up putting the queen excluder back on like this. Like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our medium spacer box. Like that. We're going to get our observation window, which is put our observation window in. And all we got to do now, Dave, is clamp it all down. The latches are adjustable, so you want to, depending on what the needs of the hive are, you can tighten or loosen the toggle latches, which is really nice. So the other thing that we can do, which I'm not going to do today, but you could put the exchange box up here and put the 5 frames that came out of the brood chamber that they are now blank, basically, because they've consumed all the food that was in them. So you could put them up there. But I think for today, because it's still sort of early in the spring and we're not going to start doing the Demaree for a couple weeks, I'm just going to leave that off and leave the hive like this. The other thing you could do at this point, I'm going to leave the frames in this box at this point, but if there wasn't much food in the 8 frames and the 7 frames that were in the brood chamber, you could take these frames out and you can feed 1-to-1 in mason jars up here. But the fact that I saw some capped honey and a fair amount of nectar on the frames, I think we're good. So pretty much, Dave, that's what we got today. So a nice example of how you basically take the keeper's hive from overwintered sort of state, move those frames down into the brood chamber. We used the follower board because the size of the colony wasn't a full 8 frames yet, made it a little bit smaller. And it's awesome, you know, except for getting stung right there. I should have put on my veil. But besides that, had a good day. And what we'll be doing is in a couple weeks, we'll be sort of looking to do some swarm control on this hive. So come back and join us then.